Hello and welcome to the Mentor Tournament Go Mode podcast. I did that backwards. My name is Blackwax. I am here with Malmo. How are you doing today, Malmo?
Oh, I'm doing great. I can't wait. We ready to see some mentored rando?
Yes. So today we have Filistea with their mentor Gammachuu and VeXtopher with their mentor Espeon. The way this works is that each runner has a mentor in their ear telling them how to do things and walking them through glitches that we're allowed to do. And we're going to see who wins this thing out. They're getting ready to go here pretty soon.
Yeah. So while we wait for them to start up, oh, they're starting right now. So this is open assured. This is a kind of not quite custom, but it is you can see that Filistea has grabbed a sword, but it's the master sword because she already had one. Open assured assures that the runners have all the routing options available to them that you wouldn't have with standard, so that they can learn routing from their mentors. Assured sword makes sure that it's not too difficult at the beginning.
Yeah, Assured Sword allows you to go through escape. It gives you a general weapon. It makes all the buttons on your controller do something.
That's true. It does give you even more routing options than not having any weapon. The only thing you're really missing for the early route is the bombs, which we just saw on VeXtopher's side as he killed a crow, picking up one bomb in the process.
Yep, and we just saw the tree fall too. Not anything consequential.
Yeah, just small rupees.
Philistee's about to find out the same thing. We have a cape and a master sword right out the gate. This is not looking friendly.
And a map check too. We have a green pendant in desert and crystals in the other light world dungeons. So Filistea has chosen to go somewhat standard here, going to the escape with that assured sword. It's something that you can do with the Uncle Start that you can't do when you don't have a sword. I imagine that if she hadn't decided to already, maybe that extra sword convinced her to continue through the escape.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot easier. There's a lot of NMG strats you can do with a regular sword going through escape, but with the master sword you can just kill everything outright with either a spin or a slash. And we have VeXtopher going to Kakariko. He's going for all the dense stuff. Makes sense. Pretty complex.
He's getting a lot of resources, but not so much in the way of progression here. The bottle will lead to one more check in Kakariko with the Sick Kid.
He's also gotten enough rupees to talk to the bottle vendor and get whatever he's holding.
Yeah, a lot of the times if you choose to put off Kakariko, it's because you're hoping for things like the bottle merchant money or the little extra check you can do with the bottle. The extra check, you can get the library item if you find the boots early.
Yeah. Also, if you get the flute early, this is like right now is like the best time to get the flute because you just walk over and activate it.
Yeah, having to make that extra trip to Kakariko to activate your flute can be kind of a little obnoxious. It's it's a time cost. So Filistea kind of paused on that save and quit. She found a key, so she had the option of doing Dark Cross with her equipment, but having only 3 hearts, has chosen to put it off. Because Dark Cross could lead her all the way to the back of Escape, which you can get the items without the glove if you go that way.
Did she ever find the map in there? Because it could still be the map.
Yeah, that's a good point. I did not notice if there was a map or not. So if the map is still at large going through the Escape, would net her a map and feel bad, but you could still continue to the rest. However, VeXtopher has found the glove. So it seems like Filistea has made the correct move here. Can take that glove to the back of Escape through a much shorter path once she picks that up herself.
Yeah, sick kid not having anything. And that is always true. It's a lot faster to just wait for the glove if you can find it. If not, then you lose a little bit of time. But generally speaking, it's worth it to try to find a glove first.
The other thing that might be Sorry.
You're pretty likely to find the glove early.
Yeah, and the other thing that might be leading her away from that is having found the cape and the master sword. She might be making a return to Hyrule Castle anyway, just to fight Aghanim. So she does have the opportunity potentially to do Dark Cross with a lamp if she does that, which would be safer and faster. VeXtopher is going to blind pull the race game.
I understand why you do it because it saves time if it's something you need. I don't like to do it myself. I always check. See, it's just bombs.
Yeah, it depends on the mode you're playing. For example, in Key Sanity, it's so often just a key that you're going to get anyway because you don't know what it's for. But in open, with no other modifiers, it can be a little bit of a low percent play.
And VeXtopher getting ready to show us what's in the back of the escape.
Oh, a
Hammer.
Hammer.
So this will not be an Agassiz.
Unless Moon Pearl.
The Moon Pearl can be on the ledge or behind an item on the ledge.
Yeah,
or it can be
lumberjack.
in what's it called?
The lumberjack, right?
No, Checkerboard Cave.
Oh, behind the flute?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a couple Dark World locations that can have a Moon Pearl. You can also be required to climb the mountain the vanilla way, where you pass through the Dark World briefly just to get above Speck Rock. Those are, in logic, intended. Rather rare, though.
Yeah, Hera, generally speaking, if you get access to the mountain early, Hera is a very common place for the Moon Pearl to end up, just because it only requires a couple extra items, and one of the items is needed for a lot of other things anyways. So when the game's looking at things, it only goes, well, you just need them here.
So VeXtopher is hitting up South Shore. This makes sense because it's, the next dense location for him. He's going to forego the heart piece. Decided he's going to find more later. He doesn't need this now. There are some rather dangerous enemies on this path, but he has a master sword and sword beams. He can defend himself from the crabs as long as he can maintain them. Aw. So easy to fall in those pits. They're very deceptive in where they actually suck you in.
Yeah, a lot of times I try to get up against that edge, and that door will suck you back out.
Oh, wow.
That's
Mitts and Fire Rod. And Mini Moldarm Cave, and some money for Zora, so we can go all the way up to Zora if we want to. It's not quite 500, but you can farm it at the 20 rupee cave if you want, or you can hope for a drop or an item pickup.
Yeah, I mean, he's close enough farming, it's probably a good enough option.
Yeah, and it is in logic to check Zora, because you could take the vanilla path where you lift the rock near Witch's Hut. Most people will choose to fake flipper there instead. The downside to fake flipper is they don't have the equipment to check the waterfall because they don't have a way to get water walk state in there. You would need to have either the boots or the Moon Pearl to get water walk state.
I would fake flipper every time. But I'm less likely to go there without the boots or the Moon Pearl because you can't check the waterfall with it. If you do.
So Filistea is on one less heart. She has picked up one more in Mini Moldarm Cave, though.
Yeah, and then there was a heart piece in Ice Rock Cave, so they both gained a heart at the same time.
VeXtopher is going to the next dense location, which is... Oh, interesting. He's checking...
He's checking the island first.
Yeah, check it on the way to Sahasrara Closet. It makes sense.
Just a bloopy.
Let's see if Filistea goes for the fake flipper. It's a hard sell when you don't have the Moon Pearl or flippers or boots. Because you're really just doing it for Zora and Hobo.
Yeah. So with the mitts, the flute makes, at least it would make me want to check Checkerboard Cave.
Yeah, you can't do Checkerboard Cave without the flute though.
Right, but if they were to find it here, that's exactly where I would go. Is I'd be like, okay.
Yeah, you need the mirror as well. It's quite a ways off from that.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Though we do have both rods now. We're also ways off from Trinex, but it's worth noting.
Well, yeah, I mean, every time you find the ice rod early though, you're just like, okay, well that's
That's a pendant Trinex, yeah. Classic.
Well, you're also not searching for it later.
Yeah, it's a relief.
No, the one item that can literally be anywhere but on Trinex.
Now Felicity is doing what makes sense to her, which is to check the back of Escape, and she has the knowledge that she didn't pick up the map, so she's going to be our first into Dark Cross. This is going to be a dark room play. She has a fire rod she can light torches with, but only a half a magic bar. So hopefully she has her mentor's guidance and some practice doing this. She did pick up Key Rat successfully, so that's the hardest part of this completed. Meanwhile, VeXtopher is hitting up Eastern, having already done Back of Escape. Definitely an interesting set of items we're starting out with.
Yeah, and then I'm not sure I'm up on this Eastern play when he still has the front of Escape. I mean, there's nothing there, but he is.
It's, you know, walking through the front of Escape is not free either. So I can see where he's coming from. He's already here. Could be his mentor Espeon guiding him in here as well. Flippers on in Dark Cross, and that is in logic with the Fire Rod. This is the advanced logic, so we are required to light torches with the Fire Rod as long as we have a torch in every room that's on the way.
That is very in logic.
Yeah.
I would bet that Moon Pearl is over there.
Yeah, and I feel bad for VeXtopher here. It could be here too, but probably not. The dark room here is not in logic. Only the one leading to Armos is, and we don't have a bow for that.
And Filistea choosing to go to Hobo first. Something that it's like, so this is the one thing I will skip every time. It's just so far out.
Hobo is awful, but I don't think Filistea has much choice at this point. She has a very small sequence break up the mountain that'll give her 2 items, and she has Eastern. And there it is, Moon Pearl and Hobo.
I would lash location hard.
Well, this would be the thing. Like, if you were fake flipping to Zora earlier and you said, well, I don't care about Waterfall, I'm just going to go to Zora, and you do Hobo on the way, you get to do Waterfall.
Yeah, that's true. Because you can jump out of Hobo into that screen transition to a fake flipper.
Yeah, and then with that Moon Pearl, you can get a Moon Pearl Water Walk, which is something that happens when you have the Moon Pearl. The game forgets to check for flippers and you exit and you get a Water Walk state. This little damage boost VeXtopher's doing here. It's faster than killing all the enemies in the room, even if it takes multiple tries. Filistea is showing the benefit of actually having the flippers here. If she had taken that hit while fake flippering, she would have died, because it's coded into the randomizer to kill you instead of soft lock you like it would in the vanilla game. So VeXtopher is going to converge on these flippers as well. He doesn't have any choice. They're here. It's that or Zora. Those are the only in-logic checks for him.
Right. So if he decides to go set up a Death Warp and check Dark Cross from this side, then he'll find the flippers. I don't see why he wouldn't, because he's already done the back.
It would literally be second to last location. It's that or it's flippers. Or Zora, I mean.
Alright, so not an Agassi. Even
Not
though
an
the first
Agassiz.
two things were very suggestive of that.
Yeah, we're a bit of a ways off from TR. We still need the cane, but we also need some way to cross the mountain, which in this case would be either the mirror or the hook shot. The Philistee's first Dark World check is going to be Hype Cave. It's an item dense play you can do from south to north so that you have enough stuff to survive the dungeons in the north. Thieves Town can be rather dangerous on 5 hearts.
Yeah, I like this play starting from here because then you can go up through Village of Outcasts, and it allows you, if you find the mirror along the way, that is an if, but if you find the mirror along the way, then you can get all your mirror checks done and do more Dark World.
And there's a lamp in Hype Cave. We also got a map check in the Dark World with pendants at Swamp Palace and Misery Mire. So we might not be finding a flute at all, or the mirror.
We just found the flute, actually.
Alright.
The first chest.
Just
after the NPC, yeah.
stop saying the names of items. And I wouldn't worry about that until we also find a medallion. But there is Mire's Shed to be had there as well. And that could also be our access to Desert Palace, which is also a pendant. So, ooh, look forward to that.
Alright, and here we go. VeXtopher doing the Death Warp so that he can go check Dark Cross.
I think it's really fun that in our first week of Mentor Tournament, we already have a required Fire Dark Cross.
Oh, I love this kind of stuff. My favorite thing when they came out with the advanced logic was it was like the first week they had a giant race where the lamp was found in the basement of Pod.
Mm-hmm.
The funny part was nobody had the fire problem. Yeah, it puts a lot of things. The advanced logic puts a lot of things in places that you maybe wouldn't think of.
Yeah, I actually had a seed shortly after that change was made that put a lamp in Ganon's Tower. It wasn't possible before, but with the right pendant layout, you can get a lamp in Ganon's Tower. It's extremely rare.
Right.
Oh. Oh, cool. Yeah. So you want to explain what Filistea just did there?
She picked up the smith, saved and quit, and then now she's gonna go into the other portal. Well, she's gonna turn him in first. Then she's gonna go into the other portal and do Village of Outcasts.
She's also gonna activate her flute. This makes a ton of sense. There's no reason to walk to Thieves Town when you have a flute to activate and a smith to turn in. You might as well just use the portal there and start from the light world. The only way that doesn't pay off is if the mirror is in the Village of Outcasts, and you don't want to count on that, especially when Swamp's a pendant and mirror can just be in Ganon's Tower.
Well, I mean, even if the mirror is here, you lose a pretty minimal amount of time.
Yeah. It's a very, very smart play to make.
I agree. It's a pretty good use of like movement resources. Because once she turns in the smith, she's gonna walk outside, flute back to 3, and just go up to the portal. And also, because she now has the flute, later she can grab the chest, save and quit, and then just flute to 7 and turn the chest.
True.
And I assume that would be done after Skullwoods.
You could also just do it later. Like, you have the flute and you can flute to 3 and go back into the portal just to do purple chest. It's a slow play no matter how much you have. I would say follow that flute, maybe to the mountain, do Mire Shed, and then consider purple chest.
So that's interesting to me. The fluting to do the dam. Like, I get it. It makes a lot of checks a lot faster because there's certain things you can flute straight to where the check is.
The dam? Or is she just going for the heart piece that was there?
She's just going for the heart piece.
I see. She says, "Oh, I'm about to be doing these difficult dungeons, Thieves Town and Skullwoods. Let's get the heart. No matter how slow that is, it's not going to be faster. It's not going to be slower than dying to a boss. There's hardly anything that loses you more time in this game than dying to a boss.
No, that's true. Dying to bosses is pretty harsh. Especially like Vitreous. That's pretty bad.
So as far as go ahead.
I was gonna say, especially for beginners, having the extra health for bosses makes a lot of sense.
Chain of Samaria in a chess game. It's one more piece of the Turtle Rock puzzle. We just need some way to cross the mountain, and we're... Oh, and a medallion. I told you I would forget things like that.
Yeah, I forget the medallions a lot.
People who know me know why I forgot that you need a medallion for Turtle Rock.
Yeah, I mean, it's understandable. Thankfully, though, our runners, if they forget that, they have their mentor.
True. You would also probably want to wait for a hookshot if you can. A hookshot cave is accessible, but not right now. Of course, hookshot is likely to be one of the items that gives you access to the mountain, so it's not as likely to be an issue.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, they still can't go up the mountain. That's pretty restrictive. So if there's nothing in Thieves Town, then there's probably something to pop.
Yeah, despite not having much on the mountain, it still doesn't really hurt to rescue the old man. All it is flute to one and then rescue him. You're going to want to do that anyway just to get that save and quit point. It's the best save and quit point to flute from because you get the heal from the old man and don't have to walk all the way out of the sanctuary.
Yeah, you don't have to walk up the stairs to get the heal, so getting the heals faster and then walk out the door right there. So you save, I think it's like 10 seconds every time you save and quit and flute from one.
And you don't have to commit to climbing to Spec Rock if you do that. You can just say, I'm only going here for Old Man, and come to Spec Rock later. There's always later when you have the flute. So VeXtopher is not doing... Well, maybe he's picking up the Smith as well. Let's see if he saves and quits with the Smith. I think you have to, right? Because you can't enter Thieves Town when you have the Smith.
Yeah, you can't go to a dungeon.
He might just be hoping for a mirror, maybe?
Oh, he's doing hammer effects first.
Yeah, this kind of makes sense.
Also makes sense.
It's right there, and it might be the mirror. If it's the mirror, then you save time.
Right.
Filistea is doing pretty well in Thieves Town so far, has not taken too much damage. Very carefully making her way up the conveyor belt room, only taking one hit. This room is very difficult at any skill level. You can just get hacked by the RNG.
Yeah, it's... I mean, Cape helps a lot, but yeah,
It does.
that specific hellway is a completely different beast.
Cape can get you killed too, like if you have this little magic and you don't notice it runs out, or if you swap to it and then try to use it too quickly, there's actually a cooldown, and you can press Y and nothing will happen. Alright, now I'm a little concerned. Oh, a clutch full heal.
Clutch.
Thank you, Attic. Oh, she's slashing that chest. Blessing the chest for blessing her.
No, she was trying to get the magic drop behind it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can do that in the Oracle games. But you can't do that in the Link to the Past.
And you can see the Smith dancing behind VeXtopher as he activates the flute.
Yeah, he's jamming to that music.
You can also make him dance by taking him into a pendant dungeon and getting a pendant.
Oh, that's neat. That you can only do that in entrance though, right? Because he won't follow you into a dungeon normally.
I think that's right. But you can also take him into Sika's house and turn him into a bottle. And he'll dance when you get the item.
Nice. Your personal cheerleader.
Yeah. Too bad he won't go in dungeons with you though. You can, if you don't turn him in during your run, you can drop down into Ganon with him.
You can. You can also drop into Front of Skull. He doesn't have any say in drop downs. He'll complain about doors, but you can just pull him right into a hole, and he has no choice. Filistea is still at full health. This is really good. Even if she doesn't pull off the blind, she's still fairly safe from this boss fight. She also has a couple tools at her disposal, like the cane, that can make blind a little easier if you go off script.
Yeah, the cane can be useful, the cape, although that drains a ton of magic.
So yeah, she took a hit there. She's gonna go off script, but I think she'll be fine. She has, as I predicted, taken out the cane. The cane's gonna do some work for her while she focuses on dodging the heads. And just gets one last hit in, and that's all you need. The good thing about blind script is you really only need to get the first one right. The second one is good too, but the third one really doesn't matter that much unless you're really low percent.
Yeah, it's not a big deal if you take a few hits. Alright, and that is a 1 crystal lead for Filistea.
Yeah, this is pretty straight lead for her. Like, it's really just that eastern dip. It's about the length of doing Thieves Town, right? You've done an entire dungeon, but not really gotten anything for it, and he's gonna have to do it again. So it's straight time loss, unfortunately. But that's how it is when you have these moon pearls that require, Dark Cross with Fire Rod. You just look at other places, because what are the odds, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's not often that the Fire Rod is required for dark rooms like that, because it's restrictive about what dark rooms. So it's more likely going to be the lamp. It happens sometimes.
So Filistea has ended her route, not in Mothula, but in Purple Chest pickup, as you predicted. Mothula can be done later. It's so easy to flip to 3 and just walk into that portal and start your route all over again.
Yeah, be interesting to see if she goes back. Or if she goes to Meyer. Okay, yeah, just go.
Yeah, there's Meyer Shed. Where do you think the progression is?
I think the progression is odd.
Uh-huh.
You've got the hammer and you've got the lamp. Unless it's bow locked, then there's, it's a pretty dense location.
Yeah, the hammer doesn't really do anything that doesn't also require a bow. But you can go in there hoping for a bow, and if you find one, you can finish it. The lamp definitely points me towards Pod, because we already got the Fire Rod, and the fire already led to the Moon Pearl. So I'm less suspicious of Mothula in this case, but the lamp didn't lead to anything yet. There's also Old Man that could just be there.
Yeah, Old Man could be holding a vanilla mirror or a hookshot.
Yeah, we got Ether as our medallion for Pendant Mire. If we see that, we'll cry.
Hopefully we only see it in Ganon's Tower.
VeXtopher also gets a full heal in Thieves Town Attic. Kind of goes to show how closely they're kind of routing their heart pickups. I think They have picked up different heart pieces, but the same number up until this point.
Yeah, and you're right about them going to the mountain to pick up the old man. So that's I feel like she's on kind of low health with the Master Sword. She might not be up on fighting Mothula.
That's true.
She also doesn't have the mirror, so she can't do the rest of the North Arc World checks.
I think she can survive Moth. She has a red potion. It was an old man. And she has said, I don't want to do the climb just for one check. So she's going to do Moth. I think these are kind of the quick plays that I mentioned earlier that you can do right before Moth that don't really lose time. It makes sense to do them first.
Right. I mean, it's pretty quick to just flute out to certain locations. Oh, she's gone the opposite way.
No, she wants to check checkerboard first so she can save and quit out of Mothula. Backtracking out of Skullwoods is pretty awful.
You mean bumper ledge?
What did I say?
Checkerboard.
Oh no. It's like because you were talking about it earlier.
Oh yeah.
Just a heart piece. Won't be needing the cape. Yeah, she has the cape too, so if that was required, she could just pick it up.
Yeah.
Mentor is telling her, go up. Up is the way to Mothula. There are 2 ways into Skullwoods that'll take you to Moth.
Right. It looked like she was gonna go down and around.
Yeah. I love seeing these little mentor moments when you can kind of see their hand. She's doing the back to front route, which is kind of the mathematically correct play. The downside is if there is something that makes Moth easier in the front, you miss out on it. But
yeah, or if both items are in the front, you can just kill Moth. You don't have to worry about going to the bridge chest.
But she also might be doing like the key grab and then go to the front, but you don't usually do that when you have a fire rod, unless you're really reluctant to do Mothula.
No, if you have a fire rod, you just go kill Moth. You get a full heal afterwards, so there's no point in not.
Especially because she is currently on mostly full health. If you do front of skull and you take some damage on the way back, like you're hurting yourself. You're hurting your chances with Moth. Might as well take the resources you have right now and use them. Not have to worry about managing them later.
Yeah, and Moth is a very RNG fight too. Like there's a chance that you go into Moth and you have like the easiest Moth fight ever. There's also a chance that you go in there and there's constantly a spike in the face. And it has nothing to do with you, it's just how the room decides to move.
Yeah, and you don't have boots, so you can't even open with like poke dash strats if you know them. Something I recommend, by the way, people, even new players, it makes the fight shorter, and anything that makes that fight shorter is probably going to make it easier. So I would recommend, it's kind of like blind script, like learn the first step of it, and then the rest you can kind of wing it.
Yeah, the poke dash with the tempered sword.
Yeah, when I have a master sword, I open with a double spin. So you hold your sword away from Moth, and you kind of line up like it's a poke dash, but you are facing the other direction. And then when Moth's antennae are touching the spikes, you release the spin, and hopefully it rebounds and hits her twice, making the fight take half as long. And it's so nice to have. Don't try that with tempered though, because it will not do damage.
Yeah, if you do that with tempered, it will try to do gold sword damage, and Mothula is immune to gold sword damage.
The VeXtopher is doing front to back Skullwoods. I wouldn't recommend holding sword out facing Moth, just because you might poke her by accident instead and do half damage instead of double damage. I think my preferred method is slashes. You have more control over yourself, so you can dodge things better, and you can chase down Moth a little faster. really hard to control, like to actually close in on Moth when you are walking at sword out speed.
Yeah, the spikes also get in the way of spins. Oh, and down goes Moth.
There you go.
Um,
That is the map and compass for her. There's items in the front.
there's one item in the front. She got the blue cane in the bridge chest.
Ah, so it's one of those you have to full clear no matter what, Skullwoods. I hate those. Those are the worst. You try to be clever with your route and it just says nope. Oof. Next.
The nice thing is though is that she did that chest first, so she just gets to leave.
Yeah. VeXtopher might death warp out of this chest. I think that'll save him time and refill his health.
Yeah, that would be a smart thing to do in this situation.
He can take one hit from the mummy and die.
Yeah, just
and...
walk into the Gibdo and
He has half magic. Where did he find that?
I'm not sure.
Maybe Eastern Palace. I think it's the only thing he did that Filistea didn't do.
Yeah, I think it would have to be Eastern Palace.
So Hopkins was closet, but I saw Filistea go there, right? She just saved and quit out. I could have sworn. Maybe I'm wrong. But I trust our tracker. She doesn't have the ice rod, so she didn't go there. Shout out to our tracker, by the way. Making me not give wrong information to chat.
Yeah, trackers are pretty cool. It makes our jobs as commentators a lot easier because we're supposed to be talking about it. They're the ones who pay attention to it.
Exactly. So we saw VeXtopher practicing this before the race started. This is Hammer Mothula. It's a little different. Some people prefer it. What you want to do is get up above Moth. And wow, that was very fast. So he took a couple hits at the beginning and had to use his red potion, but I think the fight went pretty smoothly other than that.
Yeah, he had some pretty bad early RNG.
Yeah.
But, and like I said, there's nothing he can do about it. It's all just what the room decides to do, because the latter half of that fight, the room just, like, cleared out for him.
Ice Palace. Alright. This makes sense.
Clearable
in logic.
Maybe in logic. Sometimes it requires the hook shot. Although the hook shot can also still be in here, so a lot of people just ignore that part.
Schrodinger's logic. I don't worry about it until it's already happened. Like if I'm in hookshot go mode, if I am perceptive enough to notice that it's hookshot locked, it'll tell me where the hookshot can and can't be. But most of the time, you're not going to find anything in here anyway. You've just cleared a crystal. You might find something in a chest that is in logic. We also have the cane and can do Icebreaker. I think she didn't hit the switch. Did she find the big key in the first chest?
No.
She did. She has it.
She did? Oh,
yes.
Yeah. Okay.
This is the one situation where you don't hit the switch. Because it's slower than using the big key and going through the door.
Yeah, you're going to be full clearing it anyways, so getting the drop down isn't all that big of a deal. You have the cane, you can just hit the switch anyways.
Yeah, this blue mail makes it a little bit safer as well. And another red potion. So she has 2 red potions up her sleeve, and VeXtopher will get that as well when he goes here.
Yeah, so the thing to look out for in this is making sure she has enough magic before she drops down into Cold Stare. Otherwise, those red potions may come in handy still, because you can use sword beams to do extra damage on Cold Stare shell.
That's true. With no half magic, that might be required if she doesn't pick up enough magic between now and then. Which is kind of looking like it might happen. There's only so many places you can get magic here. In the vanilla game, you can farm Pengators, but with randomized prize packs, that's not always going to be available to you. And we found all 3 items in ice, one of them being in the mushroom, so we don't know yet if this was required.
All right. She can't get in. Well, she could have picked up the key in the other room.
Yeah, that's what you would do that's why you only need the big key, because you just need to find one more key, which you should on the way, and then you pick up that key if you don't have 2.
That is a bomb prize pack, so that is not going to be useful.
Yeah, I'm concerned about.
He does not.
I hope that Gammachuu at least knows.
More health. I would expect Gammachuu to know. It's probably gonna make her use one of her potions.
See.
Oh no!
Filistea. Oh, she has a blue.
Oh, she had a blue.
Did she buy one? Oh, my heart.
I think she might have just found it. I don't remember her buying one.
It wasn't in Ice Palace, because I saw what she picked up there, and it wasn't.
Yeah, in Ice Palace it was red.
It was red, yeah. Red potion, red boom, and something else. The mushroom. So everything she found in here was red. That was terrifying. There are a couple things you can do, but once you're out of magic, there's actually nothing you can do. Both of the backups for this require you to at least have some magic left. One of them being a glitch called Samaria Magic Refill, and then the other one being duplicating your Fire Rod shot to deal double damage using sword beams. This is some pretty close routing between them. We got VeXtopher going in here as well. He has half magic on his side.
You can also use the bow to do damage, but
yeah, it's also much tighter timing. Personally, if I had the bow, I'd be going for Samaria Refill. It's actually pretty easy to learn, but if you're in the situation where you're using it, you're probably not having a good time. And the Ice Rod was in Sahasrala's closet. Filistea hasn't done any of Pod Eastern yet, which actually has so far saved her time because she didn't do the Eastern dive that VeXtopher did. That's why he's about a dungeon behind.
Yeah, and I don't remember there being anything in Eastern. If they find the bow somewhere, she'll be able to clear out both of those dungeons pretty quickly.
VeXtopher is getting the key, or getting the switch hit. Free money. That's good because she's too poor for Pod. She wanted to go in there. And now she's gonna stock up on that blue potion. It served her well last time. It might serve her again. Alright, we got it. I kind of glossed this over, but this glitch is Icebreaker. It's arguably easier than Ice Palace Bomb Jump, and it's definitely faster if you can pull it off.
It's way easier and it's way faster.
I think it's easier. I don't like saying things are easier because everybody has different. Everybody sort of has like different strengths, but Ice Palace Bomb Jump is not easy. It's hard. I don't know. I'm still bad at it.
I mean, that's fair. I guess it's the Icebreaker's easier for me.
Yeah.
There's the half magic.
Yeah. Thanks, Tracker.
As promised.
Imagine the Tracker knowing what they're doing. So good.
It's a great feeling.
Comms are notoriously. It's hard to track when you're calming. That's why we have a tracker, and trackers are really good at their jobs. So thank you. Give your tracker a follow. Put that runner in chat.
Also, LadyBoxthief is doing the restream on this.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead and give her a follow too. She's doing a great job. She's made all the overlays and everything, and she's actually a pretty big reason why this is all possible.
Yeah, and follow my co-com as well, Blackwax.
Yeah, and give Malmo a follow. She's pretty cool.
All right, we're getting the checks. We got somebody finally biting the bullet and climbing the mountain. It's really nothing here, unfortunately. So I think you might be right about Pod. It's kind of looking pod shaped. She is going to end this in Spike Cave. She has had access to Spike Cave as soon as she found the flute, actually, because she had the cape.
Yeah.
Cape, hammer, and glove.
Actually looks pretty promising. Getting both invincibility items early.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's random, but a lot of times it's Spike Cave.
A heart piece.
And she didn't even get the flesh heal.
Oh, we know in our hearts it's pod, but we don't want it. Do you think it's going to be a pod with a bow in it, or do you think it's going to be a required double dip?
I'm thinking we find Mirror in pod, and then bows behind Mirror, probably like K45.
Mirror unlocks all of the mountain as well, so that's definitely a likely scenario.
Yeah, though I say the Mirror because it unlocks the most amount of things.
Yeah, it's a lot of stuff. Hookshot will also give us Hookshot Cave in addition to the rest of the mountain.
Yeah, Hookshot opens up quite a bit. Mirror opens up quite a bit. Bow and pod would be nice, but it's kind of a pipe dream. Just go into the pyramid first. Pyramid catfish. That makes sense.
Well, pyramid pod is also an option. It does orphan catfish if you did that though, and she already did Zora, so there's no incentive to put off catfish until you have the mirror.
Well, if you don't get the mirror here, then you can do North Dark World with the mirror later.
Yeah, and you can also do pod from the Flute 5, so catfish makes sense. I think you're right about that. Pod is something you can just do on its own. Yeah, this looks like catfish to me.
And it could also be catfish. Mathematically, though, it's probably pod. I would personally skip this and then do it with North Dark World.
I would definitely, yeah, I agree, like, pod first, but it makes sense to do catfish with pyramid, because pod with pyramid doesn't really save time when you have the flute and the hammer.
Yeah, that's true. I tend to suffer from leaving things on the pyramid, so.
Pyramid is just such an awkward check. There isn't really anything that takes you there. It's just kind of sitting there by itself.
Red bomb, that's it.
Red bomb? Yeah.
Pyramid berry.
Let's just do Turtle Rock. It's almost available. Actually, that's... Okay, we have medallions. That's true. We have to get medallion, we have to get mountain access. Catfish with some heart. Some love. Yeah, it's unfortunate. This is just a bad seed.
It's just a dip pod seed without the bow, which is pretty bad.
Let's give you items that forecast everything else, but don't give you access to those things. And then make you go into the dungeon that's not forecast at all. There it is. The pod play. Is this last location for her, or does she have other things?
I think the only other thing she has is Agina.
Oh, Agina, that's right. You can kind of justify Agina with the flute, but at this rate, I think that's something you would have done earlier.
At this point, you've left so many things behind.
Yeah.
By having the do it later with the flute mentality.
Oh, nice convergence. So she also hasn't done Eastern, so in her mind that's available as well. But if there's anything worse than pod without the bow, it's Eastern without the bow.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh no. Well, she's
Kiki. Yeah, you're better off just walking past these enemies if you can. The longer you stay, the more of them converge on you, and then you're likely to get hit. But when you're not familiar with the enemy patterns, it can be hard to convince yourself that it's safe to just hug the right wall.
Yeah, well, actually, both times she walked up there, she got the rare RNG where the bad guy was actually up against the wall, throwing spears in that direction.
Yeah, the spear thrower, that's unfortunate. You can get the moblin just hecking you when you're trying to get past. And then the longer you stay on that screen, the worse the RNG gets, because you can't really react to it because it's completely unpredictable at that point.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen somebody get that RNG twice in a row. That was really bad luck, to be completely honest. And they are both in pod now. So
yeah, look at the sync. So Philistea's losing Kiki has caused VeXtopher to catch up. Although Filistea does have a few checks under her belt, they didn't lead to anything. So if VeXtopher finds the critical path and doesn't go to those checks, he's not behind anymore.
Yeah, so if you end up in a situation where you're in bow mode, Filistea has a huge advantage in that Eastern is free.
That's true, because she's not going to go in there looking for a bow unless it's somewhere worse.
I mean, it could be in Pendant Mire, where we need a way to clear the gap and ether.
Yeah, Mire is a ways off. They're, well, it's hard to say tied when neither of them is in go mode. They're definitely synced up here. The difference is Filistea has done more checks. Although VeXtopher has done a check as well that Filistea didn't do, which is the Eastern dive. If she finds the bow, then she doesn't lose time doing that. And they can bottle glitch. They both have potions. They actually both have multiple potions. I believe VeXtopher has the blue that he picked up in ice, and then Filistea has a red and a blue. There we go. And you just hug the wall and don't move too far or you'll lock your camera. Oh no, she moved.
She got...
I saw her like move too far to the left a little bit and then move back right. She has another potion though.
Yeah, she filled up, that's right. She got one when she went to the
Good investment. If it gets you these 2 checks, it's worth it. You don't have to come back for them. There you go.
Especially if there's a bow locked behind you.
That can happen. It's not going to be here though because we already found the 2 non-keys, so it's going to be a key and a compass.
If you're having trouble trying to get the units around, if you just bring the 2 green ones down towards you, you can do a spin and fill up the Master Sword.
That's true. So VeXtopher is taking this route because he doesn't have the mirror, making pod routing a little awkward. I can see why they put it off. Pod without the mirror is kind of awful. It's almost worse than pod without a bow.
Well, it's both. It's pod without a bow and pod without a mirror.
Yeah. At least they have the hammer so they can drop down. If they didn't, they'd have to walk out or death warp. Both of them are dealing with the enemies in the same way. Because she needs the coast to be clear so she can actually throw the bomb and not get bounced back.
Yeah, there's a few different ways to do that. You can do the way she did, where you get to the edge and throw the bomb. You can also throw the bomb as you're walking off the edge and respawn back at that door.
Calm curse. Or just smart reading of the logic. That was the mirror in the basement of Pod.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what you called, right?
Yeah,
Mirror in Pod.
Mathematically it made the most sense because it opened up the most stuff.
Yeah.
So that means bow, if it's not in here, is either somewhere around Thieves Town or probably on the mountain.
What are the odds we find the TR medallion when we go to the mountain?
Honestly, at this point, kind of high. The amount of stuff we've done already, there's not a lot left. There's a pretty good chance at this point if any one of the 3 medallions are on the mountain.
Chad is bringing up a good point. Left side swamp is available.
We can talk about that later. That's a horrible play.
And hookshot not being here, or like having the mirror means the hookshot doesn't have to be available. until you climb GT. Were you paying attention to the key logic in Ice Palace? The big key was available. There was but I didn't look at where the small
big key
keys
was.
were.
Hold on, let me think.
Available big key
It
is
was not
part of
hookshot
the
locked.
equation.
It was not
Not
hookshot
hookshot?
locked because
Okay.
there was a key in the there was the key you could pick up, and then there was the key in Iced Tea that they never got, and you can use those to gain access to the other side.
The big key available also makes a small key door available to burn the key on. Not sure. I'm really not the right person to be asking about key logic. I think our mentors probably know it though, so we can expect our runners to make the correct decision to look for a hookshot in GT.
Right.
There's also the fact that GT is just itself mostly hookshot locked. There's only a few things in there, and you're going to be looking for a big key anyway, so... It also has some funky logic where the climb is really unlikely to be hookshot because of the kind of hacked in key requirement that's a little bit more generous than it needs to be to make it less likely that you have to climb twice.
So part of that is if tile room is a key, then the hookshot can be up there, but if tile room's not a key, and you don't find all of the keys before tile room, then hookshot can't be up at the top. Oh, and there's the hookshot.
Oh, we can stop talking about the hookshot now. It's behind Hookshot Cave.
It's actually a really convenient place.
That is a really nice spot.
So that puts Swamp into logic now, which is another place for our bow to be, or our TR medallion.
Oh, Felicity doesn't know the hookshot's available, so she's doing this the slow way. VeXtopher might hair pot and skip this.
I could definitely see a hair pot from VeXtopher.
That's why they call it Hookshot Cave. Yeah, because the hookshot's there, right? Totally the reason.
But yeah, I could also see. Oh, there's the ether medallion.
What did I say? It's ether for TR, according to our tracker as well.
Okay, well that's less upsetting.
Yeah, that's a crystal we can do. We don't complain about those. Are we in bow go mode?
I think so, unless the boots are required for GT. But yeah, I think that's bow mode. Which means
really fun,
Felicity has that means Felicity has an advantage because Eastern's just free.
She does. She has taken a slower path up Hera though, so VeXtopher can get some of the time back by Hera potting. He's going to be leaving behind that heart piece, but it is just a heart piece, and if he chooses to make good on his gamble, he's going to keep it that way. I also like to point out the kind of equipment that they have. If they don't find Tempered Sword before the go mode, they're doing Master Sword Silverless Ganon. Unless there happens to be an easy bow on the way up.
Yeah, hopefully just both bows are like right next to each other, like the two chests and the sunken chest of Swamp. Just put a bow.
I say hopefully, but like this is the mentor tournament. This is the time to be learning Master Sword Silverless Ganon when you have somebody in your ear who can help you out. Doing that on your own can be rather tough.
Yeah, it's a hard fight. I'm honestly not even very good at it myself. I kind of just I go through the strats that I know are supposed to work and just die most of the time.
Yeah.
To be completely
And
honest.
anyone who's done that fight knows the hard part is not phase 4, it's phase 2. Phase 4 can be hard if you have a magic management problem, but they have enough bottles and half magic that it's probably not going to be a problem. It gets sketchy when you're missing Lamp, but they're not missing Lamp either.
Yeah, they have Lamp, they have half magic, they have all the stuff for phase 4, and the Lamp makes it free, so... I'm gonna guess Bow is somewhere around Village Cast. Because this is not on the mountain.
TR is
TR.
still an option.
Oh yeah, I was also gonna say VeXtopher could make a gamble and skip Hera and just do it last before GT.
Oh,
Or
yeah.
straight to the top. That is something I would personally do.
I think from his perspective, he has incentive to do Hera after TR because he hasn't done Spike Cave yet. So he can route that into Spike Cave. If he doesn't do that, he'll have to do Spike Cave by itself.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that makes a lot more sense to do that play then. And that's times he can get back. Not doing Spike Cave and skipping Hera and just being like, I can do all this later. He also doesn't have the book, so if he finds the book later, he can also route either that with that one go.
During the bomb jump, that's a little shortcut to get back to the top. I'm a little concerned because he collected some Moldorm drops midair, but he did not get hecked by the slot 0 value like I thought he might. There's only one of the Moldorms will do that, but it can happen to you. All you have to do to fix it is drop down and try again.
Yeah, if you fail, you drop down anyways.
So Filistea is up 1 TR. VeXtopher is up Hookshot in Hookshot Cave. And he is also up already having found the big key of Eastern, so he has a slightly faster path to Armos when he's ready to do that. So it's really hard to tell who's ahead right now.
Yeah, so if Bo's in TR, VeXtopher gets to skip Hera, and he gets to Hera pod up it later, and I would say that's an advantage.
Oh yeah, Herapod is a really fast way to Moldorm if you're not dropping down to check the big chest and so on. Or in this case, just the compass chest.
Yeah. But if the Bo's anywhere else, I would give a very slight edge to Felicity. She's not gonna have to go to the back of Eastern like VeXtopher already has.
Eastern is a crystal. She still has to do it, but she has to. Oh, do you mean the vanilla big key chest?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. It's going all the way to the backside.
Yeah, doing that extra check and then also double dipping is a pretty hefty time loss. She hasn't looked at the hookshot yet. She has to mirror to see it. She's gonna see it. Oh wait, I can do hookshot cave now. Oh, interesting. What is VeXtopher? Oh, I think he just missed. I see. He does have the hookshot. It's just not marked in the tracker.
Yeah, hopefully he doesn't miss the timing on that. Should be fine though.
Should be fine. Usually when you're doing any hookshot strat in that room, it's plenty of timing leeway. It really only gets particular when you're doing the vanilla intended strat and you do that wrong. I wonder if it's faster to drop down and enter hookshot cave in the front. I bet it is, because then when you fall down the pit, you can exit immediately instead of having to walk. It's fewer screen transitions as well.
Yeah, it is faster to walk to the front and then drop out and go back up to the front.
It's a little easy to forget that though. You just came this way. That's in your head the way back.
Yeah.
And I think most people who aren't familiar with like entrance modes don't even think about that drop down as an option. Oh no! VeXtopher has died to chain chomps. They still hurt even on blue mail.
Did he get the chest first?
No, I don't think so.
It hurts less if you've already got the chest.
Because he was in the switch area trying to like push the block when he died.
Ooh, no, that's bad.
You wouldn't be there if you already got the chest.
Yeah, that's
true. It's a small time loss. Like, it's right there. It just feels bad. He doesn't have to kill this one again. Oh, he's getting some rough RNG too. Yeah, he's got this. Looks like he has a, oh, get the chest, and then die. There you go.
Yeah, so when I say it hurts less if you get the chest, it's just a few extra screen transitions. If you already have the chest and you just walk right through. Um, when you have that happen to you, like he did, um, it sucks because you still have to contest with a chain chomp when you go
Yeah, you gotta do chomps again, and if you died the first time, you're probably gonna take some damage the second time, and you're on 2 hearts doing the rest of TR where everything hits like a truck. And then dying in here would be even worse. You don't want to die here. He's valuing his safeties. Fire Rod to kill the Pokey quickly. And then if he needs to, he can swap to Burna as he goes through the laser door. So I would go to Burna right now. Oh, the fairy! That skeleton head would have killed him. Clutch
Oh
fairy.
yeah.
That's like an NMG fairy.
Yeah,
Oh, there it
that's
is.
the bow. That is
That's
go
go
mode for
mode.
VeXtopher at 105. Exactly.
So VeXtopher is now. This is super close because VeXtopher has to do Hera, but it's going to be a faster Hera, and he can do it right before GT. Filistea has to do Eastern, a little bit slower because she has to open chests on the way to Armos, and VeXtopher can walk right past them. But other than that, they're neck and neck. And then
Yeah.
there's a chance, of course, if somebody finds a sword doing a different GT route. But for the most part, they're likely to run into the same chests on the way to go mode because it's really just do Helm Sword, do Armos, and do Trinex.
Yeah. That's yeah, that's a pretty fast go mode.
And with their equipment, though, there's also definitely a chance of an execution this difference too. I can't really tell who's like got the stronger execution in this case, but this end game is not easy, and this can get anybody. So there's a chance that somebody comes out ahead because somebody else took too much damage or died or had a hard Ganon fight.
I mean, even just having trouble with
Oof.
Molorm 2 could cause
Yeah,
a lot of differences.
this is rough. All right, very wise, taking out that cape. Use your safeties. They're there for a reason. She wants the chest. If you're gonna die, you die after the chest. So now she can bait the chomps here. They're a little out of sync though, which makes them kind of tough. There you go.
Yeah, so
She's taking the death on purpose, I think.
yeah, you get the health refill, and it's only a couple screen transitions. The play there would have been to stand on the blue pegs, throw the boomerang, and use your iframes to the chest.
Yeah, that's what VeXtopher tried, but he was a little bit too low and got pushed backwards and didn't get the iframes.
Yeah, so I'm hopeful. Like, part of me wants to see how well they do in GT with the Master Sword. Part of me also hopes they find the separate sword because that climb.
I want to see a bow because Master Sword Silverless is just tedious, but Master Sword Ganon is a good test of skill and a lot of chance to learn things from your mentor while you're doing it.
Yeah, the thing about the bow is that it could be in a lot of different places. It could be in Mire, it could be in desert, it could be in Swamp Palace, all of which we have access to. I say the same thing about the sword too, though. But we all know that there's one in Swamp.
Yeah, absolutely. We have been entirely pendant free this run. And it's gonna stay that way. Nobody's the boots on Laser Bridge.
There's no boots, so it is
God
officially
bless.
go mode.
Oh, don't get 1.0. Okay. VeXtopher had just enough health to not take a death hole potential. Death hole is a frame perfect death when you fall in a pit and can crash your game. That was a little scary to watch.
It is.
He's gonna.
It is bizarre to watch a death hole when you have no idea what it is.
Mm-hmm. Death hole can happen on when you least expect it. It's Definitely startling. So
Yeah,
Felicity got her fairy drop in the double pokey room. So she has a little bit more health going into the back half of TR. VeXtopher is going for laser skips, despite having full magic here. Wants to... Oh, please don't. That's all. Okay.
yeah, full magic, Kane and Berna. Or I mean, Kate and Berna. I don't.
Oh, you got the powder too. That's gonna be nice.
He was probably practicing it because it is nice to have that skill under your belt.
Yeah, as I was saying, like the time you do that is when you have the mentor with you. Like, don't squander that opportunity. This is a opportunity to learn how to play Rando.
Right, and it seems like he's getting as much out of it.
Yeah, for sure. Of course, you can do this off race too, and he has been doing practice seeds with Espeon frequently, so has had opportunities to do this. But I think he's taking that mentality into the race as well, which is a really great way to do the mentor tournament. Oh yeah, this is going to be a tough Trinex too. Hammer Trinex can go sideways. He only got 2 hits with the hammer. Hope he recognizes that.
Yeah, so really, oh, guys, he got all 3.
Mm-hmm. Oh, he got all 3? Oh, nice.
Yeah, I thought
I must have had some frame rate thing where it didn't show him flashing.
So for the Firehead, when you're doing it, Hammer Trinex with the Master Sword, for the 3rd swing, if you are having trouble getting it, you can hit him with the Master Sword. And it takes the same amount of cycles, it's just 1 extra hit.
True, and then you can also, if you're really kind of leveling up your Trinex fight, you can hit the hammer and then quickly menu to the Fire Rod so that while that head is getting hit, you're already on Fire Rod and don't get locked out of your menu and can immediately start wailing on the Ice Head with your Master Sword. You can also stun lock the Ice Head and not get the Ice Floor. Very smart getting that burnout out. Have it, might as well use it. Just watch your magic meter.
So, Felicity getting the key. Okay, she doesn't. So it's like, if she skips the boots, then VeXtopher has like, an unwavering advantage.
Oh, yeah. She's taking a purposeful death here. Has only 3 hearts. Probably hasn't really registered in her head that she has the powder, because she just got it 1 chest ago, and it takes time to think about those things. But she doesn't need it. She has the death.
She didn't forget about the boots, though.
Did not forget about the boots. They're hard to forget about.
I don't know, the number of times I've gotten the boots and for like 5 minutes didn't
that's true.
register that I could dash is...
That's true. I haven't played without boots in a long time. I've forgotten that feeling. But yeah, it's true. You can do that.
Just sitting there, walking through the overworld like it's no big deal. Middle of a race.
Oh, cool, boots. Do.
And the VeXtopher going to finish off the bow dungeons.
And VeXtopher is also doing the correct thing of putting off Tower of Hera into last, because it is the fastest time to do Hera is right before GT.
Yep, you just mirror in front of GT.
Oh, you gotta kill that.
Hera
The murder
pod.
dactyl will follow you forever. So
yeah.
far this has been hard required double dip of pod. I don't think we had any other options.
No, we didn't. Hookshot was locked behind mirror on Death Mountain, which made PR locked behind mirror as well.
It's true, yeah. You're only way up there. There would have to be a bow somewhere else, and I don't think we have it somewhere else left when we were going into pod between the 2 runners.
Left side swamp could have both.
Left side swamp, that's correct. You're right. I like to forget about left
Without
side
it,
swamp.
though.
Ether was also mountain locked, so Meyer was not an option.
Right, and
Ganon will tell us. He'll tell us where the
mirror-
bow was.
The mirror was in pod, so desert also not an option.
Nope. Unless the book
wait.
was in the side swamp.
Swamp is also locked by the mirror, though.
Oh, swamp is mirror locked. That's correct.
So that was the only bow.
Yeah, that was it. That's all you had. I guess I was thinking about left side swamp after they got the mirror. For once, I'm not the one who forgets you need mirror for swamp. I
Have you
have
ever done
reason.
it?
I have reason to forget that. Okay, I play a mode where you don't need the mirror for swamp.
Oh yeah, you like your
I like,
overworldedness.
I like my stuff. Cross keys can do that to you too.
Yeah, any entrance can really make you forget that kind of stuff.
Filistea is picking up some potions. Smart move, knowing that you're potentially facing down a Master Sword Silverless Ganon, and she has the money for it. This is the time to do it.
Yeah, it's pretty much now or never. The only downside is that if VeXtopher is comfortable with the Master Sword Silverless, this is the time that she loses it.
Possible that VeXtopher gets his potions just after doing Pod and Eastern. He already knows he's probably not going to find a bow or tempered here because it's just the bosses left in both dungeons. Whereas Filistea actually had a reason to potentially put that off because she doesn't know it's in Eastern. It could have been a Master Sword upgrade to Tempered Sword there or Silver Arrows.
Right, but she's probably wanting to skip it as quick as possible.
Yeah, she still needs to find the big key of Eastern. That's the most likely way she gets something from her perspective.
Alright, and VeXtopher takes the lead in crystals.
Does he though? He hasn't done TR or Tower of Hera.
Oh, you're right. Actually, he doesn't because he hasn't done Mold Worm yet. But
Hera is
gonna be real quick.
I'm trying to think, is Hera faster than the back of Pod? Probably, but it depends on how fast you can Hera Pot.
Yeah, it depends on how fast you can Hera Pot. He has the boots though, so he can do.
I think VeXtopher's lead is mostly going to be from getting to skip chest in Eastern.
Yeah, I think a lot of this race is going to come down to who can handle GT better. Because you're not getting anything out of Eastern. Filistea doesn't know that yet. It's very unlikely VeXtopher even opens a chest in Hera. There's only 2 checks there anyways. Or 2 items, I mean. Ooh, and that Popo doing VeXtopher a disservice.
That RNG.
It just scooted over to the side as you pushed the button.
Oh no. Ooh, it's not quite sync boss fights, but pretty close.
Yeah, it's about a half a dungeon difference at this point.
Yeah, we're kind of measuring Go Mode Hera versus like you still need the big key for Eastern. So VeXtopher is definitely in the lead now.
Yeah, it's still gonna be a tight one going up GT.
Yeah, there's plenty of game left. GT and Ganon.
GT and Ganon. If they don't find it, if there's not a sword in GT, if they're both in pendant dungeons.
Oh, nice. VeXtopher's doing the top right armos flawlessly.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
I didn't learn that until this year. It took me for like 3 years to just sit down and pick that up. It's not easy to learn.
No, it's not.
It's not hard to do once you've learned it, but it's not easy to learn.
No, it's not. I still do bottom right.
VeXtopher is checking his bottles. He might be fluting to 2 and buying some. There it is.
Oh, yep. So
I would too. I don't care how experienced I am. I'm buying potions for this climb. This is probably a time save because playing safe and avoiding damage can cost time as well, compared to the quick potion buy that we're doing now. Same goes for having to like use the lamp instead of the fire rod in Ganon when you do silverless.
Yeah, if you die to like I don't know the last gauntlet room before Lammo 2, that's a huge loss. That's a way bigger time loss than buying 3 potions.
That's been the theme of this race is use your potions, use your safeties. It's going to save you time. Felicity has done a couple extra checks in the Eastern looking for that big key, showing the kind of time loss you get from go moding this versus having already dipped it. Even though it was a time loss for VeXtopher first, he gained it back by skipping overworld checks.
Yeah, so she loses the time going the first and second chest. She saves the time going to the back though.
Yeah, it looks like she's doing a quick sword
right
check.
now.
Yeah, it's right there. Might as well get it.
Man,
VeXtopher's choosing the climb via Super Bunny Cave.
You find a bow in that big chest and there's obscenities.
Yeah. Oh man. This would be a very different race if there was a bow in that chest.
Oh god, yeah, it would.
Although it wouldn't really matter that much because VeXtopher's go mode would have just been hookshot. And then he would potentially miss the silver arrows.
Yeah, but he wouldn't have had to go back to potty.
Yeah, he would have to single dip. So he'd be in a bigger lead for sure. So he's gonna go for this hook speed hair pod. This is a technique you can use to accidentally unlock the door. There are definitely worse modes to do that in. If you line up, yeah, there you go. It's fast enough to do each attempt that even if you're not consistent at it, you can probably still save time. Felicity has attempted the vanilla Armos, but got an extra arrow into the top one and had to shoot a few extra into the bottom, but didn't lose that much time over it. Very good recovery.
Yeah, no, the hair potting straight to the top like this, no mode, I think you're in hair for like 25% of the time.
Hammer Moldorm is kind of a weird fight. The hammer hitbox is terrible, but the Moldorm hitbox is very generous, and it kind of balances out in some ways, but not in a way that is easy to predict. It is possible to just like hammer straight through his head and hit his tail, but it's also possible to hammer straight onto his tail and not hit anything.
Yeah, I don't understand the hammer's hitbox at all. I don't understand Moldorm's tail hitbox either. It's like that whole fight to me is just start swinging.
It's total chaos.
Alright, and with that, VeXtopher is going into GT. We forgot to do the GT Big Key game.
Yeah, if you want to put some numbers in, you have like 2 seconds.
Yeah, you have...
GT Big Key game is something I, again, not in the habit of, so...
Yeah, well, Sahasrabot is also in time.
That's true. Sahasrabot's not in the habit of it either.
Alright, and that concludes the GT Big Key game. We have 3 guesses. 4 guesses.
I'll give you that one, Tyler. Given that we're a little ahead, so...
Yeah, we're a little ahead.
We're a little ahead of chat.
Okay, so... Morg CL is gonna be the last one. Not that it really matters. It's just an points and unlimited randomizer seeds. It was
yeah, you can't dash through Lionel's and you have the Master Sword. Ooh, just dinking the hit. Faster than hookshotting, but it does take you down some 3 hearts.
Yeah, but she's got potions. It's fine.
She does. But you want to save this for Ganon. The potions are going to speed up Ganon more than anything else.
Yeah, Cape is going to be their best friend if they don't win.
And there's Quake. Doesn't mean anything, but it's there. One more item to quick swap through.
looks like we're going different directions, maybe.
Oh, I do that all the time, VeXtopher. Like, avoiding that spike and you just get sucked into the pit.
Oh god.
So easy to do that.
That spike and that Stalfos are unfortunately close.
Yeah, oh, and then Stalfos just blocks your hook shot too. Oh, there's a sword.
Yep, and there's a sword. And
God
it
bless.
looks like they're both gonna get that sword.
This is gonna be a heck of a fast seed. Now that it's not a Master Sword Silverless Ganon, that's all it took.
Yeah. Well, Silverless Ganon is still a little difficult. I saw VeXtopher practicing it beforehand. He was having a little bit of time with it.
So which pendant dungeon do you think has the bow?
I mean, there could still be a bow in GT.
Yeah, there could also be one in Pyramid Fairy. We've kind of got most of Overworld covered.
I mean, if there's a bow in a pendant dungeon, it's probably Myron.
Oh, Filistea keeping her cool after the hookshot missed.
There's the other medallion.
Ah. There you go. So if you wanted to have a nice easy cold stare, that wasn't going to happen.
No, that was
there
not.
There you go. Filistea is discovering the superiority of the blue boomerang in this room.
Oh yeah, the blue boomerang's great in this room.
You can do it with the red boom, but it's completely different. It's very finicky.
I personally find it easier with the red one, but just I can't
yeah,
get
you can do the diagonal. I find the second room harder with the red boom because you have to diagonal right out of the door, and if you're too slow, then you miss.
I just pause buffer.
Yeah, that works.
Any of my diagonals, because I use a controller, I don't use a keyboard. Just pause buffer any diagonals, and then you're guaranteed to get it because you're coming off.
There's the
big key.
So if the bow is behind this, we're not going to see it.
Did anybody count?
I'll let chat do that.
So yeah, that's I lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, so when you pause buffer and you hit the diagonal as the menu's going up, you're guaranteed to get the diagonal.
Alright, solastsummer, our trackers are back. It's 14.
14. I have no idea.
I think Morgul's closest with 13.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yep.
Oh, Filistea is grabbing the arrows. She's low on arrows here, so it's slow to take that portal, but there is a pot with 5 arrows in it, and she only had 8, so it made sense to do that. She thinks that she is facing down an Ice Armos fight, and will need more arrows for the mimics after. She's gonna get bailed out by the big key just being above it.
Yeah, wow. That's some knowledge about where the arrows are.
Yeah, that is knowledge. I wonder if it came from her or from her mentor.
She didn't even need them.
Yeah.
I mean, well, she's still gonna need them for the.
She needs some for Gauntlet. For mix. Gauntlet is nicer with arrows as well if you use arrow strats.
So for this Stalfos room, you can just pop Ether.
You can.
It is a thing. I don't know why more people don't do it. It is faster
slower
than down.
It's faster than getting hecked. But if you are looking to improve your Gauntlet, casting Ether isn't going to teach you anything. Oh, VeXtopher, please heal. Thank you.
You also don't always have Ether.
Yeah, that's true. This is randomizer. If you're a beginning vanilla speedrunner, you will always have Ether, but if you are playing Rando, you never know what you're going to be climbing this with. You also might have to worry about your magic. They don't, of course, they don't. They have plenty, but you might be coming up here with no lamp or with no half magic.
No lamp, no half magic, no bottles. It's happened to me several times. Like, that's not even, like, unconceivable or, like, that uncommon to end up in GT with 0 safeties.
no desperation like walking backwards from Torches 1, farming those red guards, just hoping to God that they drop magic.
Yeah. You can gather magic on your way up. There's 4 different pots that you can get a small magic decanter from. Those 4, however, are empty. Something that I painfully found out is not easy to get those up with that BMOs in it.
Yeah, that's silly.
It was not in a race when I found that out, though. I opened up the practice hack and spent 5 minutes taking up 4 pots.
Filistea has run out of magic, but she'll probably just heal with the blue potion. She's gonna have a slightly slower time of it because the blue potion takes time to fill you, and also having to use spins and not getting to double them up with fire rod shots.
Yeah. And there's the potion.
VeXtopher is not even going for the free check. Oh, don't. Okay. Seeing a mirror in someone's quick swap always makes me nervous.
That is the wrong blue item.
Yes.
That is the very wrong blue item.
The bomb will make the wall go poof. The mirror will make you go poof. Learn the difference.
So, some of the things I've seen the mirror do is that when you're trying to be quick about things and you accidentally mirror out of Vitreous.
You say Vitreous. I say Argus. I did that last week. Turns out the mirror is not the silver arrows.
Yeah, it's one quick swap button away, too.
Felicity is doing chess. If this is Bo, then she gets time back. But it's not likely with that many pendant dungeons left behind.
Alright, so it's gonna come down to who has a better silver.
Yeah, and of course VeXtopher already being in the lead. Pretty much he just has to pull it off once, not die, and he'll probably be okay.
Yeah, I mean, even if he doesn't get torch push, he has to.
Yeah, he can afford to miss Torch Glitch. He would have to take a death, I think, to fall behind. Or a fall. Ooh, that would have been a triple, I think. You always get the triple on the last hit, when it doesn't matter.
Or you get a triple on the first hit, and then they just all go to different corners of the room.
Yeah, you get 3-0-0. I've had those. Tragic.
And then you're standing there in between all 3 of them going, how do I make this work? Alright, and VeXtopher dropping into Ganon.
It's always fun to see a race when both are fighting Ganon together.
And, yeah, they will be, because that's Aga right there.
Yeah.
And because he has the silverless fight, she will be in there before he's done. The question is, can he do the silverless fight?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is kind of the big unknown for, us as commentators. This is the first week of Swiss. We don't really know where people are in terms of their silverless Ganon and other execution, unless we are personally their mentors.
Right. And a Ganon fall really changes everything up here.
She's going for the 1-on-1. She got the trident spin. That's a time save. And she's gonna pick out that cape to make sure. Oh, she missed though. Yeah, you want to do a spin if Ganon warps there. She has the right idea though. That would have been a bit of a time save for sure.
She grabs the wall to save magic.
She's choosing to go for sword spam strats instead, which accomplishes almost the same thing. When you're spamming your sword, the magic does drain more slowly. I think she knows that she has another potion in her pocket if she needs it.
So this is a decision I don't understand. using the lamp instead of the fire rod. He has 3 potions and half.
Yeah, I agree with this. Lamp is safer. Is not even safer. Like, because you're forcing yourself to position yourself right next to the torch. With the fire rod, you can position yourself somewhere that is advantageous for the next hit on Ganon. And it's also just straight up faster to use fire rod. Filistea has missed Torch Glitch, so she's probably not going to catch up unless VeXtopher dies or takes a fall.
Yeah, I was wondering. She got a bad fire bat RNG, and I was wondering if she was going to be able to time that right, because she was in a situation where it was fire rod or bust.
I see. So she got the fire rod, and she couldn't just stand next to the torch.
No, he threw the fire bat right in the water.
She's doing the right thing though, waiting for Ganon to be at the top before lighting the torches so she can get consistent doubles. Oh, took a hit though. Did you catch where silver arrows were? Because I didn't look.
I didn't look either. But VeXtopher has the 1x3 bridge to cross, and that will be it.
Yeah, GG's to VeXtopher. We'll be calling him and his... Do we call him mentors as well?
Yeah.
Okay,
so he is in first place with a 1:35.8. That is a very good time.
Yeah. Yeah, really good race. With kind of linear seed. Really no reason to dip pendants in this one. You kind of got locked out of them for the most part. But it meant that, you know, we got to see the runners race side by side and actually kind of show off what they have learned so far. The Filistea needs to watch her magic here. She's got one more blue though.
All right, and she will also be crossing the bridge. With a... Hold on a sec. I'll have the time here in a second. 1:36.45.
All right, it's a minute and... less than a minute and a half difference. Pretty close.
Yeah, it's not even a full 90 seconds. That's a close race.
It's a good one.
So let's see if we can get them in here for interviews.
Yeah, I've got Espeon waiting in there. We'll be getting VeXtopher there shortly as well. Oh yeah, that's a good point. Like all of those little overworld checks, each one of them cost her the race separately. It's hard to quantify those things, but you know, each one is a little bit of a risk-reward play that you've got to make.
All right, so we're joined here with Espeon, VeXtopher's mentor. How did you feel about how that went?
Hi. Are we not going to wait for him and T as well?
Nah, we can bring everyone in at once.
Well, they're not even.
They're not in the green room.
Yeah.
I'll go get Vex and hang on a second.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Well, here we are with Espeon and VeXtopher both now. How did you guys? GG's, by the way, and congratulations on winning. How did you guys feel about how that went?
I was a little frightened at the end. I felt, honestly, it went pretty good, but I was kind of scared when we were on Master Sword going into Ganon's Tower without silvers. It was a little scary. We were like, let's buy the potions and we're going for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense. We were noticing that you were entering GT with just the Master Sword. We were kind of wondering how that was gonna go.
Yeah, I was like...
Do we know where the fourth sword is, out of curiosity?
No.
Don't know
You-
where the other
you-
bow is.
Probably in a pendant dungeon.
You guys both did the same thing for the most part. The difference was that Filistea did a lot of overworld, and VeXtopher did Eastern double dip, and the overworld ended up just taking longer than the Eastern double dip.
Wow. That was ridiculously close and ridiculously fast. So, at least
Yeah.
for me.
And welcome to Filistea and Gammachuu, her mentor. GG's very close race.
GG.
Hey, GG's.
Hey, GG's.
So how did you feel going up into Ganon's tower with just the Master Sword?
Oh, I wasn't happy at all. I was just like screaming the whole time, "Where's my sword?"
They're in pendant dungeons. Did you catch where the bow was? I wasn't reading the Ganon text.
Dark,
It said bow in Dark World. I think.
Pyramid Fairy.
Yes, yeah, Pyramid.
There's not that
Fairy.
much left.
Or
No, we did
Catfish. Not sure what
we
you
saw
guys did.
catfish.
We see purple chest,
Yeah.
graveyard ledge.
Oh, we didn't see the mirror. The mirror
we
checks
did
are in the
see
light world, though.
graveyard.
Sorry. Yeah, graveyard ledge is light
Spike
world.
cave?
Yeah, we did Spike Cave. All we had we did everything in the Dark World except Pyramid Fairy. So it had to be in
Alright,
there.
gotta be that.
Yeah.
That's disgusting. You find your go mode
Nice
in
vanilla
TR,
silvers.
then what?
Yeah.
You're not gonna get those.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
rough.
Ugh. Yeah, I did spend like 3 hours practicing Master Sword Ganon today, like a lot. And so I was like, oh, I don't want to like do it because all the practice was today.
Right, you want it to sink in a little bit.
Yeah.
What were some things you guys thought you did really well in this seat?
I was kind of happy with my moth fight. I was warming up with just hammer moths, and then it felt pretty decent. I kind of hammer moth part of it.
Yeah, Vex has been practicing a huge amount over the past week, and like Moth especially, a lot of practice went into that, so we got to do Hammer Moth. And
Yeah, I
Fire
saw
Ring this
that.
week.
Yeah, you had some really bad RNG in the early boss fight, and then the room just kind of like cleared out, and you were able to hammer him down real quick.
Yeah. Well, and I had the fire rod and half magic, which helped.
Let's see. What about you?
I think that mod fight was good too. Like we were like avoiding that, like hoping like, oh, maybe you'll get a better sword or more health or something like that to help you out until we said like, okay, we can't postpone it any longer. It has to be done.
Yeah, we were noticing that you were kind of avoiding the moth fight. Both you kind of put it off a little bit.
Yeah, we just decided to do a bit more clearing, maybe find something to kind of help out, which we did at the end. We ended up finding that blue mail upgrade. So it was nice to have that along with a red bottle, just in case.
Yeah, it made sense to do the checks that don't really take extra time to do them now versus later, like Myers Shed and Old Man, before diving dungeons that might give you difficulty.
I know Espeon for that route was actually really interesting because we were talking about how to do Dark World when we got in there and from CAC, and we were like, well, let's go to Thieves, we'll do that, and then we'll route in Bumper Cave first because we have the cape to clear it in case we want it. And then we were kind of crossing our fingers and hoping we'd get Big Key in the front of Skullwood so we could save and quit out of the Bag of Moth. And it worked out, so.
I also just checked the restream, and Filistea does not have Tempered Sword. Which is
She does.
unfortunate. Oh, it's just not marked?
Yeah.
Yes, it's not marked. She
Okay.
didn't have to do Master Sword Silverless. Otherwise, you would have passed her in the Ganon fight.
I think you'd have to do full right GT to miss that.
Yeah, you would. You'd have to do
Dark Magician or
Dark.
something.
You have to do Dark Magician because there isn't a key in Hope Room.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't check the right side. We went full left.
Yeah, I gotta say, going into pod, thinking we would probably find some kind of, progression over to the East West Mountain inside Ice or one of the crystal dungeons that we had. 3 open available in Dark World. Then nope, it was just in bowless pod.
Right?
That was fun.
Well,
required doubled it.
at least for the most part, you were locked out of all the pendant dungeons.
Yeah, that was true. So at least we didn't have to touch any pendant dungeons.
All right. Do you guys have any final thoughts on the seed, or how you guys did?
No, I'd say I think thanks to the mentors and good game, Felicity.
Yeah, GG. GG. The seed wasn't that terrible. Just that mirror. That mirror location is the thing.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
think that not having to go into like a swamp left side to find hookshot there, it's
Yeah, we got down to like our choices were like go up the mountain early and go into Hookless Swamp. Like hope we get the stuff in the mountain so we don't have to go in there.
Yeah.
And the hook shot on the ledge was kind of comforting on the floating island.
Oh yeah, that's a nice thing to see, like just laying there.
Did you end up doing Hera clearing at the was the small key and the big was a big key in the vanilla, or did you guys wait until you had hookshot?
So we cleared the first 2 chests and then we went back into the dark world and cleared TR. Right, and then we went back after we got the bow in TR. Well, after we cleared TR, we fluted out. We fluted to get some safeties, and then cleared. Well, we cleared Pot Eastern, fluted for potions because we were on Master Sword, and then we went back, finished Hera, and went straight to GT.
Okay.
Yeah, VeXtopher had a huge time save by doing arrow or potting straight to the top.
Right. Yeah, we're kind of thinking about like, should we just do it? Maybe we should just do it because we're already here. But it's always, you take care of it now or just wait for hopefully the hookshot to pop up, because Swamp was also a pendant, so it could be one of those scenarios. The hook maybe inside GT, something disgusting like that.
Yeah, I was thinking about it, but I realized after TR, we are going to be crossing back over and getting Spike Cave no matter what. So if we don't have the hookshot by then, we'll just mirror and do Hera before Spike Cave. But if you get the hookshot, then you can do Hera pot.
Right.
Did you guys do Mimic Cave or did you skip it?
I always skipped it.
Yeah, I was like, if it's a sword or boots, I'll feel bad, and so we did it.
It's fair.
Yes, yeah. I actually told Gamma as I was like just walking away from him. He was like, "Bye, sword."
You know in your heart it was in Swamp.
It's in Swamp.
Yeah.
There's
it's
always in Sword and
There
Swamp.
probably is the fourth sword there, honestly.
It happens so often. It drives me insane. But no, we were actually talking about the hookshot. Right before you guys walked past it, actually. And we were trying to figure out if ice was hookshot locked or not, because that would determine whether or not it was possible for the hookshot to be in GT.
No, because we got the big key.
Yes, yeah, Ice is hookshot locked because there's a key on Cold Stare and a key on the right side.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
right.
it's really the big key that does it. When the big key is accessible, it gives you access to another
and
door.
big key in the first chest, that's also important.
Mm-hmm.
So since you logically require at least one key to reach Cold Stare, you'd have to access the one on the right side, because of course you can't reach the one at the boss. And since the big key is accessible, that requires the hookshot to reach. So hookshot could not be in GT.
Right. I knew Espeon would have the answer. He's super knowledgeable about the logic.
That's what I said too when we were calming. I said, well, maybe we don't know if it was hookshot locked, but I can guarantee the mentors knew. And we can trust the runners will make the right decision.
I got over my icebreaker performance anxiety.
Oh yeah, it's
Yeah,
nice
you
once
both-
you get it consistently.
Yeah, you both hit the icebreaker pretty quick.
All right, so if we don't have any last words, I'd like to once again thank our tracker, our restreamer, and my co-com, Blackwax. I also like to thank the runners and their mentors for joining us. We're going to be heading over to some cross keys. There's a lot of cross keys happening right now because there's a tournament coming up